Hello, 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 and welcome to a Thursday night live stream, which is our regularly scheduled scream, screen, live screen. Please let me know that you can hear me and see me. Can you hear me? Let me just make sure of that before I launch into this thing. Let's make sure. I'm looking at the comments for those of you watching the replay. Okay, we hear you. Awesome. And see me. What? What is this? I am feeling so much better. Thank you. Hello. 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 My name is Natalie. I am a criminal defense attorney and proud public defender based in the great state of Maryland. I've been practicing for over 15 years, and here on my channel, Natalie Lawyer Chick, we cover legal commentary on popular topics. But what we used to cover all the time was sovereign citizen nonsense and courtroom reactions and things like that. Things that weren't necessarily in the popular culture, but are very much well loved here on YouTube. So I want you guys to know that we're going to be covering that today. We are going to be doing this entire video is a palate cleanser. Okay. This entire video is a palate cleanser. And I just wanted to make sure that everything is working, and it looks like it is. So we are going to do the introduction. While the intro is playing, please make sure that you like the video. Click, like, comment. If you're watching on the replay, make sure that you comment and make sure that you subscribe. If you are interested in seeing some sovereign citizen foolishness, please stick around. I've got 2 videos for you that look to be great fun. I've only scrubbed through a little bit of them because I like to do a live reaction. I like to give a genuine reaction. Rehearsed reactions don't work for me. I don't like that. And let's get right to it. Okay. Hello, Kurt with Uncivil Law. So over here on my phone, I always I should get a monitor, but I'm never gonna. So over here on my phone, I have to move my hair because I don't want you to think that I am unclothed. And like this, it looks like I ain't got nothing on. This is not that type of stream. Okay. We're not doing that around these parts. Let me make sure that it's very clear that I'm clothed. Okay. I don't need my little nieces seeing me here on YouTube looking naked. We don't play those games around here. So here's the thing. Cardi B, someone just said we need a palette cleanser, new tricks. And the Cardi B case was kind of that. It kind of was. And then we went to Chad Daybell, which I actually really enjoyed that stream. I would highly recommend that you watch it. I have a theory as to why he was there on Twitter, had his daughter posting a bunch of foolishness, and I want you guys to watch that. I think it was the last stream. Devin, the editor, also put together some shorts for us, which are also on the channel. So please make sure that you go and you check that out, because I'm telling you right now, Chad Daybell is a hot ass mess, and so is his janky ass daughter. Now, when I was preparing for today's stream yesterday, what's popular right now, the topic du jour, and I don't mean to be flippant about it, but it's everywhere. It's a legal issue. It's blowing up social media, is what occurred to Charlie Kirk and the apprehension of Tyler Robinson, his suspected shooter. And there were some text messages, and don't follow me on Twitter because I'll be over there losing my mind. because the world is in disarray. But there were some text messages, and I wanted to talk about, I didn't want to talk about what happened to Mr. Kirk himself. I didn't want to talk about what happened with Mr. Robinson himself. I wanted to talk about the admissibility of the text messages and like the law enforcement releasing it to the public and the issues with that and the issues with authentication and what we could expect in a potential trial. I wanted to talk about it in like a more clinical way. And I was like doing these like notes and stuff. And then halfway through it, I was like, oh my God, this is so depressing. I will pick another case for us to talk about authentication and admissibility of text message evidence, because this is an extremely hot topic in criminal defense practice right now. It's like how we try to block those things from coming in and the technicalities of what the state needs in order to prove, in order to bring it in, or to, lay a foundation for it, in order to authenticate it, in order to show that it's the best evidence of the thing that's being presented. There's all this stuff that's involved. It's a very interesting legal issue. However, the genesis of it was someone being killed in front of a crowd of people. And you all know that I completely disagree with every single thing that he had to say. I did not know much about him before he died. I disagree with every single thing that he had to say. There's nothing he said that I agreed with whatsoever, right? But that is not how we deal with public discourse here in the United States of America. We just don't do that. That's not what we're supposed to do. You debate them, you disagree with them, you pass laws, you become an activist, you push forward your own ideas, you don't kill somebody, so and it was just horrific. And you know what, I don't have the emotional bandwidth to even talk about it divorced from the actual shooting itself. So I said, you know what, thank you. So I figured, I was like, you know what, my viewers, oh yeah, Uncivil said, I'm sure it'll be fine when it gets to trial 2 to 3 years from now. And that's the trajectory of where it's going. So, and again, what is the point of me doing that when, if this goes to trial, it's not going to be going to trial this year or even next year. And there's so much investigation that still needs to be done. So let me just kind of leave it alone, let that play out, see what happens. This is a very unique situation. And and just address it if at all possible at a later point in time, and maybe when temperatures have calmed down around it. And maybe you guys just need a break from the deluge of negativity in the media these days, and the deluge of negativity if you're in the United States, all across the country. So let's all agree that sovereign citizens are nuts. But nuts in such a way that, unless there's rare occasions where they do become violent. There was that case that happened in the early 2000s where it was a traffic stop and the two sovereign citizen father and son ambushed the law enforcement officers. Like, that is a rare case. They're usually not violent. They're usually just obtuse and dumb, and they come and go in cycles. So you don't really have, like, it will be like 6 months to a year of new sovereign citizen content, and then everyone will cover it. And then they get shamed, so they get quiet and you don't get any content from them. And then they come back. Just like the First Amendment auditors, who actually I'm always 50-50 on them, because sometimes the First Amendment auditors, though annoying, are right. Sovereign citizens are always wrong. Moorish nationals are always wrong. They have the law completely wrong. And so, you know what? Nobody got hurt. Usually they're not assaultive things. Usually they're just like driving issues. And so it's nice to cover it, and people with common sense just get to have a moment of saying, ha ha, aren't they dumb, while not having to look at the dirt underneath our couches, Oh my goodness. All right. So we are going to have an actual palate cleanser. We're going to do an AITA before we get down to the main thing. There are 233 of you here. That is awesome. Please make sure that all 233 of you like the video. Let me see, how many likes do we have? We have 120 likes, so we're at 50%. That's not bad. That's not bad, but that's not passing. 50% doesn't pass. Okay, that's an F. So 50% isn't a bad ratio overall, but we can get up there. Let's try to get to a B minus. Okay. You used to be a D student, but your mom got you a tutor, and now you're a B minus. Let's get there. All right, let's do the icebreaker. Ooh, this one's interesting. Am I on camera? I can't even tell. I don't know what happened. I got lost. Okay, there I am. I sometimes I get lost in the tabs and I'm like, where am I? All right. AITA. This one's interesting. AITA for not wanting to educate a kid about my wheelchair. All right, let's see. I don't know. I don't know. Like, this could go either way. Sometimes the titles are like, you sound like a jerk, but then when you get to the bottom of it, you're like, oh, it's not so bad. Screw the Roses, 1986. I, 39 female, temporarily have to use a wheelchair for longer distances due to a currently undiagnosed issue with my leg. My PT advised me to use one, and my husband rented a nice small wheelchair for me. I'm able to roll myself, good workout, and did some training and maneuvers in our local shopping center. I visited a small zoo last weekend with my husband. My husband was getting coffee, and I was waiting outside the restaurant. A kid, age 7, I don't know, I'm not that good with ages, and his dad got curious about my wheelchair. I understand that kids get curious and want to ask questions, but I barely understand why I'm in a wheelchair currently. I was really not in the mood to explain my issues or to be educated about it, so I just mentioned that sometimes someone's leg doesn't work. Cue to more questions, and I said that I didn't want to answer more questions because I was tired. The kid's dad wasn't pleased with that response and mentioned that it was a good lesson for the kid. Okay. Okay. Now I basically wanted to tell him that I'm not a zoo attraction, but there was a kid and I didn't want to make a drama. Luckily, my husband showed up with coffee and rolled me away. Too long, didn't read. Kid asked questions about my wheelchair. I didn't want to educate the kid about my wheelchair. His dad didn't like that. AITA for not wanting to educate my kid about a wheelchair. Wow. Interesting. I think that's interesting. Okay. So, this is tough. This is tough. I'm going to say that it depends. I don't know how this person, the female writer, spoke to the child, but I feel like the dad of the child is the a-hole for not stopping the child from asking those questions of the adult in the wheelchair. Now, I am a child-free person, and so I understand that other child-free people aren't really like into kids. I love kids. Oh my God. I will talk to kids for hours, like about all types of nonsense and foolishness. And I love talking to kids. But I recognize in people that don't really like kids, and I'm not saying this person doesn't like kids, they're not obligated to sit there and teach and educate your kid. Just like when people talk about, oh, this is not kid friendly about adult things, like you should make this more kid friendly, or this person that's an adult entertainer, should be more kid friendly or be a good role model. That is not an adult's responsibility. It is your responsibility to educate your children. I think that you should teach your children that it is not kind to pester somebody about something. And in fact, I remember being a child and being curious about a man that had an injury on his hand. I didn't ask him because I was afraid to talk to strangers as a child. So I spoke to my mother, but we were like in the grocery store line, and he had like, I don't know, maybe it was like a boil or something. I can't remember what it was as a child, but it was some type of injury was on his hand. And I remember looking at it and like it scared me. I was little, and I turned to my mom and I said, Mommy, what's wrong with his hand? Of course, the man could hear me. And my mom was so embarrassed. She was like, I am so sorry. My apologies. And she said, you don't say things like that about people. If you notice that someone has an injury, you don't just blurt that out like that. That can really hurt their feelings. That's not nice. And then afterwards, she said, like, if you see something and you're curious, just ask me when the person is not around because you could really hurt their feelings. I remember my mom telling me that. So I really feel like the kid is not the a-hole. I feel like I wouldn't have necessarily handled the situation like that for the person in the wheelchair, but that they're still trying to figure out what their issue is. They don't even know why they're in a wheelchair. They don't know why they're having an injury or issue. And so it's probably something that's emotional and difficult for them to deal with. And then they have to manage a child's feelings. So I really feel like the appropriate thing to do is for the parent to redirect the child. Let me see what you guys think. Okay. Mindy says, oh, you know what, Mindy, I'm going to come back to you, but I want to go up top more because J. Michael hit the nail on the head. Let me see. I like what and I'll remember to go back to Mindy. Dad can teach the child, says Bree. People with disabilities, temporary or not, aren't mascots for children, education, and entertainment. Yeah, and you know what? I think about like other immutable traits or traits you have no control over, like your gender, your sexuality, your race, your national origin. Like if a kid who's never seen a person like you before, like, why are you so black? Or here's a good example. Because that's definitely something kids would say. Kids are so funny to me. They don't know. I remember when I was living in Ghana, and I was living in Ghana for study abroad. This was in 2004. So I was still in college, and some of my classmates were Caucasian people. And because I went to New York University, and it was a very diverse student body. So we had a diverse student body for the study abroad. And we were doing a tour of an alligator village. So it's a village that borders a river, and there are actual alligators, or I don't know if they were alligators or crocodiles. I can't remember now. It was too long. It was 21 years ago. But anyway, like people like lived up on the water, like where the alligators like come out. People fed them and stuff like that. And it was kind of like more like a tourist attraction as well, that people would come and visit and see the alligators like coming up to the shoreline and everything. And this little girl, she lived on the shoreline, and her brother was bringing her out. She was little when I'm like maybe like 2 or 3. And so maybe there hadn't been any white people in the tour groups recently. And so I don't think she'd ever seen a white person before. And he was like pushing her towards the white people in our group. And the little girl was like scared. She was like, because she'd never seen like a white person before. That's really rude. And like those white people would not have been, I think, wrong to just be like, I don't want to explain to you why I'm a white person, like I don't want to talk, I don't want to interact with this child. I like take care of this kid, stop pushing this child in my face. I don't see how the person would be an a-hole for not wanting to deal with that. It's just like being in a wheelchair. Like she can't help the fact that she's in a wheelchair. She shouldn't have to take like rude and pertinent questions from a child. And it's not on the child, it's on the parent to redirect them. My thoughts. Jay Michael says, NTA, you have the right to health privacy, although OP is most likely UK. Oh, okay. From the like verbiage used, you think they're in the UK. But yeah, I think even in the UK they recognize privacy rights in healthcare, and that's right. You do have the right to privacy. Thank you. AR says NTA, the father can educate the child and not put the burden on a stranger. Absolutely. Ladybug says definitely NTA, not some random ass kid. LOL. And that's the thing, is like, you know what it is for me. Yes, no, I swear to God that happened with the alligator village. That's seared in my memory forever, because it never occurred to me that there are people in the world that have just never seen white people before. Just like I'm sure that there's like white people in the world that have never seen a black person or another person of color before, like in real life. And this was like a traditional village. So they wouldn't have had like cable and stuff like that. Like they had no idea what the hell. But that little girl had never seen a white person before. So yeah, I know, weird. But anyway, the whole thing with kids is that I think I'm different and weird because like I kind of like bad kids. I know, just like I kind of like mean old people. I really like mean old people, and I kind of like bad kids. I think that shit is so funny. And this is why like I might not be a good I might not be a good parent because I might encourage misbehavior for my own entertainment, and that's not a way to raise a human being. My children would be feral, like it's like when I'm with my friends and I'm babysitting and stuff like that, and their kids are acting up, and they're like, "No, Timmy, don't do that." And I'm like, "No, do it again. That shit is funny." Or like the other day, this little girl, I babysit a lot, my friend's kid. I babysit a lot of my friends' kids. I'm auntie extraordinaire. We were at another mutual friend's kid's birthday party, and the little girl that I sometimes babysit was also there. And so, we were like hanging out. She was happy to see me. I was happy to see her. And she held onto my hands and put her feet on my legs and like did this like somersault off of me. And her dad was like so freaked out, like, "Don't do that." And like I grabbed her hand and I was like, "Do it again." We were in a play park. Everything was foam. She would have been fine. So anyway, don't listen to me. Don't listen to my parenting structure, which is have fun. But I don't think everyone's like me. And I think you should respect the fact that people are not out here wanting to entertain your kids being rude to them. I would go home and show my 4-year-old Sesame Street videos about wheelchairs, but I'm also not going to let him go and ask a stranger things. Yes. I think that's a great way to deal with that, Autumn. She has no obligation. The dad sucks there. NTA, she doesn't owe crap to strangers. Ew, it's not a stranger's job to stop in the middle of their life and educate your child. It's okay to say no nicely. We've got more NTAs, and then I want to come back to, I think it was Emma. Boop 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 boop. Elena says that's exactly how I grew up, and I have done the same with my child. Yeah. See, this is why I like NTA, because come on, who even thinks of these things? I know my brain is like all over the place. Yeah, that's when you say Google is free and roll away. And then, of course, I lost the comment that I wanted to come back to because I have no sense. Naturally, Deb says, no, Natalie, we're the exact same way. I used to be a camp counselor and the bad kids were always my favorite. Oh, my gosh. Me too. I wasn't a camp counselor. I was an after-school counselor, and all the kids. Well, first of all, I had no business being an after-school counselor. I was a high school student and they were elementary school students. And, you know, like you would like go to the school, like help them with their homework and stuff like that until their parents come and pick them up and have like little things for them. And I remember my mom really, really badly wanted me to be either like a teacher or a nurse. And even when I was little, I wanted to be a lawyer. I did not want to be a teacher or a nurse, but she would like maybe go do this job. So I would like potentially want to be a teacher one day. And like my whole class of kids were bad. We had a great time. They were so bad. The best. And mean old people, ornery, grumpy old folks. That is my bread and butter. I love it. All this said, I always speak to kids at the level that they are at. So do I. And Isbury says, and like chronic illnesses are exhausting enough. Sometimes you don't want to talk about it anymore or let it take any more of your life. It's exhausting. Yes, I completely understand that. Now that we have dealt with ATA, let's move on to our main topic. Okay, so this first judge here, my husband and I have come. So you guys may not know this, but it's because of these sovereign citizen videos that I even came back to YouTube. I used to be a beauty YouTuber and a very janky low budget one. I had like 4,000 subscribers at my peak. It was so much fun. This was the early 2010s. I know when I started, I was I still in law school? Yeah, I was like on the tail end of law school. Go back, you can find, like I have a dreadlock tutorial video that has like 400,000 views on it or something like that. And so I didn't care about doing beauty reviews and tutorials and hair, videos anymore. And so I kind of fell off of it. And then me and my husband started watching these videos during the pandemic with the sovereign citizens. And he was like, you should, because of course everyone looks everyone up. And when we started dating, he looked me up and saw that I had this defunct YouTube channel. And he was like, you should relaunch your YouTube channel and react to these because you think they're so funny. And your commentary to me is cracking me up. I think that you should react to it. I see people reacting to it. It was his idea. And that's what started me back doing legal commentary and then launched me into the other thing. So it's really, really fun to come back to this type of content. I just want to look at this comment real here. When a child asks a question, explain to them. Some people need to use them because that became okay, and leave it at that. So I mean, like to their parents, because I still don't think the person in the wheelchair should have to, explain that. I don't think that's fair. All right, here we go. This judge is a lot of fun for me. So he's a judge, this gentleman here in the suit and tie. And sometimes he wears a bow tie, but he does not wear a robe. He is an actual judge. He's not like a magistrate. He's a for real judge. And here he goes.
That's why I travel very cautious. I don't.
You just said I drive. I mean, here you're going into the sovereign citizen type language. This court and or officers of the court are profiting off this case, and it is trading on the stock market. I've been waiting for something like.
See, Judge Fleischer is great. He is, first of all, a depth of the law, but also great sense of humor. He be in there making fun of people. And I was like, if I ever become a judge, I'm gonna be funny.
Like this for so long. This is so much fun.
Yes, guys, you saw that right. This sovereign idiot got absolutely mocked
Right.
for
Same charge, picked up a fraud.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me give credit to the creator. This is Vladington Court. I'm going to be skipping through his commentary, and then there's another video I'm going to do as well.
Well, I don't know how smart it is. Have you ever represented yourself
Yeah,
before?
many times.
How did that go?
Many dismissals.
In this court?
Harris County.
Oh, well, I found no probable cause. That's why I got dismissed. You didn't represent yourself. You didn't represent yourself for nothing, man. I did it. If you want to represent yourself, you're entitled to do that, right? But
I love it. So basically what he's saying is that, like, I'm the one that made the determination that there was no probable cause in your case. You didn't make some sound legal argument. I found that there was no probable cause. I represented you. That is so tongue in cheek. I love it.
I like to tell people it's like brain surgery. When you need brain surgery, when you need heart surgery.
Uncivil says that he went to his courtroom once. It was cool. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Is he in your state? How was it that you were in his courtroom?
You know, are you going to do that on yourself? Because you're not trained. Same thing with the law. You know, you're not trained in it. We're in the middle of trial now, so I don't have the time to go through all of
what he's talking about here, this lawyer, is that you have the right to an attorney. You may think that you know what you're doing, but you don't. You had an assist from the court previously, and it's not my job to represent you and teach you about the law. You should get a lawyer, but he desists. He does not want a lawyer because he is a sovereign citizen.
They're called Faretta warnings to see whether you should represent yourself. I'm happy to do that. If you're willing to wait, we can do that a little bit later when I take a break in trial.
I had my other case.
So go up there. When you're done, come back down here. Don't forget to come back. If you don't come back,
he is very nice. You see, this is very, very nice. This judge is being extremely nice.
I'm going to issue a warrant.
After returning from his other case, the judge put him back on the record, and that's when he realized that this guy might be one of those sovereign citizens.
Would you please identify yourself for purpose of the record?
The man Eton Ematon.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Instead of just saying yes, he made a strange thinking pause.
That you're going to tell the truth. That's it. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Ematom has been charged with the offense of...
I mean, that could be indicative of him wanting to give some standard soft-set answer, but it could be indicative of him not being sure if he wants to tell the truth either.
unlawful carrying of a weapon. The case is 40 days old. It appears that probable cause has already been found.
On August 2nd, 2024, officers observed a car without a front license plate, changed lanes without a signal, and have expired registration as of March 2023.
Okay, you need reasonable articulable suspicion to make a stop. In states that require a front license plate, it's interesting. Virginia does not, and Maryland does. And we border each other. So frequently Virginia drivers get pulled over here in Maryland for not having a front license plate. And then we can get that dismissed because in their own state, that's legal. You know, having your papers expired and things like that, that's all going to be a reason for the police to be able to stop you. Reasonable articulable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot gives the police the right to make a traffic stop in order to investigate further.
Approaching, officers smelled marijuana, PCs.
Okay. Not in the state of Maryland. It's only as of recent. The smell of marijuana in the state of Maryland is no longer probable cause to search a vehicle. The police can, if they're doing a lawful stop, if they can see indicia of intoxication, inebriation in the person, bloodshot, glassy eyes, the manner in which they're driving was erratic when they made the stop, they are slurring their words, they don't seem to be in control of their faculties, they can then pull them out to do field sobriety tests to see if they're under the influence of marijuana. But most of the times when people have the odor of marijuana in their car, it's usually like stale marijuana, like they had smoked previously and they smell like marijuana, or they've smoked marijuana in their car. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're smoking and driving or that they're currently under the influence. And so in the state of Maryland, without more, just the odor of marijuana is not probable cause to search a vehicle. That is a very recent change in the law. I think it happened in 2022. But in Texas is like the majority of the states in the United States. The odor of marijuana is probable cause to search a vehicle. So it's very important to understand that police can make an initial stop of the vehicle because of anything. Your windows are tinted too dark, your headlight is out, your tail light is out, your registration of your driver's, your license plate is expired, you don't stop at a stop sign, you're speeding, whatever. That gives an officer the right to stop you in order to write you a ticket for that thing. But if while they have you stopped, they come across other reasons to believe that other crimes are being committed or they need to do more to investigate further, they can hold you, and they can, even when they have probable cause, commit a full-blown search of the vehicle. And in many states, the odor of marijuana gives them probable cause to search the entire vehicle.
Search returned 4.17 grams and a loaded Smith & Wesson handgun. Additionally, there was about...
I don't know about I don't know. It's Texas. Can he have a handgun in there? I don't know. Can you drive with a handgun in your car in Texas? You can't in Maryland for the most part. It's very, like, especially a loaded one. So if you are a legal gun owner, you're not prohibited. You need to have a gun in your vehicle in a lockbox, separate and apart from the ammunition. They cannot be together. And usually you only can transport it when going to and from the gun range, unless you have a concealed carry permit. I know states like Texas do not have all of those regulations on gun possession.
Backpack with 3 checks that did not belong to him. The checks were stolen from her restaurant on July 8th.
Well, hold on a second. We'll get there. I'll let you say your piece, but
that's why you need a lawyer, so they know when to talk and they don't interrupt inappropriately.
you have a Texas driver license?
I have a U.S. private property number with the FMCSA.
No!
My vehicle was on there. It was sticker tags, everything. The FM.
You have a what?
Do you have a Texas driver license?
I have a U.S. private property number with the FMCSA. With my vehicle was on there. It was sticker tags, everything with my business, the Amazon Estates. That's what the.
That's oh no. So a key part of sovereign citizen ideology is that they do not need to get a traditional driver's license through their local MVA, or we call it MVA here in Maryland, or DMV. You do not have to get that. Instead, you have the right to travel. And unless you are conducting commercial business, then the government has no right to regulate your ability to travel. Well, obviously that is counter to the law. The law is that you need a driver's license. You have the right to travel, but you have no right by way you get to travel. You don't have a right to take an airplane. You don't have a right to, drive a car. You don't have a right to take a train. I think the only thing you have a right to do is to walk on your own 2 feet. That's pretty much it. I guess you have a right to ride a bicycle. But as far as motorized vehicles are concerned, you have no absolute right to that.
Department of Transportation.
Is that from the state of Texas or from where?
This is federal. This is with the Department of Transportation.
No.
Okay, but you still need a Texas driver license, and you need registration and
I did all my steps with them because it was private property that I had. They said I didn't need to get registration.
Oh my God, we need sovereign citizen bingo. Oh my goodness. We've got crappy pieces of paper that mean absolutely nothing. And now we're talking about being a private citizen versus doing something for business versus public conveyance. This is amazing. I'm in love.
With the state of Texas because I registered it again.
From what I know of the law, you need a Texas driver license to be able to drive.
This is, what jurisdiction is this case being tried on?
It's
Criminal, civil?
criminal, yeah.
So
Right, you're facing jail time, right? So that wouldn't lead you to believe it's criminal, right?
Yeah, but under common law, or is it military and tribunal?
Oh,
Because also with
I've been waiting for something like this for so long.
it's been like 2 years since I've reacted to a sovereign citizen video. I haven't heard this in so long. Let me just show you guys something real quick. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this right now. Look, there are sovereign citizen bingo cards. My free bingo cards. Taxation is theft. Freeman, free citizen. Article 4. I don't need a driver's license. We've got that. Corpus delicti. Oh, so good. So good. Am I being detained? This is when you're on the scene. Call your supervisor. Traffic laws are not a crime. I'm a private citizen. We've got private citizen. We got I don't need a driver's license. I do not consent. That hasn't come up yet. A very patient officer telling the officer he's getting fired. I think the federal paperwork will go in the free space here. I know my rights. Black's Law Dictionary. You're getting sued. Terry v. Ohio. Am I free to go? The Fifth Amendment. Traveling. People versus battle. God is my authority. Broken window. Screaming woman. You can't do this. I freaking love that. I love that. So corpus. We'll talk about corpus delicti in a second. That's one of the favorites of the sovereign citizens. And me and Schrodinger's cat used to call it RIP to Schrodinger's cat. He was I don't know why that just happened, but he was a amazing creator here that did sovereign citizen and First Amendment reactions. And he had a much bigger platform than mine when I first started, and had a panel of myself and other attorneys, like Artie. And he has now passed away. OTB Lawyer was also one of the reactors. He has also now passed away. So which is really, really sad, but they were just like such a light, so much fun. And we used to cover Sovereign Citizen reactions together. I think we would get together on like Thursdays or Fridays and do a lawyer stream. Irish Demon was on there. Just Radical the Night. Oh my goodness. So much fun. I really, really missed that time. So let's get into it.
This is so much fun.
The judge was clearly amused by his strange questions, and you don't see a Judge Latison probably can't drive a car without a license, though his excuses were
Liability insurance. You have to have a
drive a car without a license, though his excuses were extremely
in
stupid.
Texas, you have to have a Texas driver license.
Yeah.
You also have to have liability insurance as a minimum in the event that you get into an accident.
I own the vehicle and everything. When I was here the last hearing with the judge, like what he was saying, he said that when it had applied to me, but he was going to see what they were going to say about the other court.
No judge would have ever told you that that needing a license and needing insurance doesn't apply to you. There's no judge that will tell you that, because you need insurance in case you hit somebody, and yes, you need a license.
About the probable cause of stopping me, because he said registration when it had in the front license plate when it had applied to me.
It does apply. It applies to everybody. Everybody has to have a back license plate. They also have to have a front license plate.
Right.
So if you don't have that, you can't drive. And that's it.
Right.
I stated to him I was traveling. I wasn't arguing with him, but I was traveling. I wasn't making commerce. I used to do medical transportation. So
Oh my gosh, I was traveling. I wasn't making commerce. Okay, we need the bingo cards for sure. This is so classic. So, you know, what these sovereign citizens are trying to say is that I was not driving. I have the right to travel, and driving is only, there's like this really obscure case from like way back in the day from horse-drawn carriage times. And they're just basically like, driving is when you're like operating a public conveyance, right? And I'm not operating a public conveyance or for like commercial use. Instead, I am traveling privately in my own personal vehicle, and therefore I don't need a driver's license, because I'm traveling, not driving. The words don't mean words when you're a sovereign citizen. Words don't make sense when you're a sovereign citizen, and the fun begins.
I'm kind of aware with licensing and registration and everything. That's why for my private vehicles, I did that with the US DOT instead of the state.
It doesn't matter whether you're saying you're conveying, whether you're traveling. It's a privilege. It's not a right. Right? There's a big difference between a privilege versus a right. You have the right to walk.
I have the right to travel, don't I?
Yeah, and taking your happy-go-lucky feet. You want to travel?
Yes.
Take those feet to travel, not in the car.
I have the right.
That's okay. So there's this really great video that I did where I debated this group of Moorish nationals called the Canaan Land Moors. And unfortunately, they are not visually on the screen because I'm recording myself as they are recording our conversation. I just, for some reason, I didn't hit screen record, but I have it up there. And like, that's why I was like, listen, you can walk wherever you want to go. That is your right to travel freely without any restrictions whatsoever, unless it's someone else's private property or government property that you're restricted from entering, right? You can walk wherever you want to go. Walk on the side of the highway if you want to. It doesn't seem very safe, but you can do that. But if you want to operate a motor vehicle, yes, you need a driver's license. And this is the part of the law in your state that says that. I want to say maybe like 6 weeks after I had that interaction with them, they were all arrested for having an armed standoff in like Massachusetts or Rhode Island, somewhere in New England. I can't remember exactly where. I wonder how they're doing now.
Right to travel.
You do. Yes, and you can walk your happy ass from one part to the other part.
Your happy ass.
Not in a car, though. Not without a license and insurance. Imagine that you get into an accident and you kill a 5-year-old kid. They're going to come after you. The first thing they're going to do is, do you have insurance? And if you don't have insurance, they're going to sue you. And then they're going to attach a lien on absolutely everything that you own to satisfy the judgment they get against you. You have insurance so that if that happens, the insurance company will pay so you don't have to pay out of your own pocket. And they will even give you a lawyer to represent you on your behalf, because that's what you pay for when you get insurance. And I've seen people come here, they have killed someone and they get a $250,000 judgment against them. I've seen it.
I say for the unlawful carry.
He was just waiting for the judge to stop talking so he could spout more of his sovereign citizen nonsense, child. None of that permeated the dome piece. None of that went in. But everything the judge said there was absolutely right. And while, yes, as I said before, almost no one is hurt in these sovereign citizen videos. No one dies in these sovereign citizen videos for the most part. It's relatively harmless, but there is a real good policy reason for why you want people to be licensed and insured. And that is so we can look out for each other, so that if you hit somebody and seriously damage their property or hurt someone or kill someone with your vehicle, that person can be made whole because you are covered by insurance. And so it is, I think that the insurance system definitely is leaves a lot to be desired, but it's the best thing that we have, so that we make sure that we look out for our fellow man, so that we don't end up bankrupting ourselves and we don't end up seriously injuring someone and not making recompense for them. So I think that the judge put that beautifully, but unfortunately, none of that was absorbed by this gentleman.
Possession of marijuana. The person that was in the vehicle told the officer it was legal hemp that they got from the store. They have receipts and everything in Texas. You can have legal hemp. They got it from the store. Even told the officer it was theirs. He pulled me out the car. He didn't ask for any paperwork.
Now you're mixing apples and oranges.
Yeah, those are two different things. And this is why you should have a lawyer, because the issue of, okay, he had the right to stop you because you did not have proper registration on your vehicle or on your tags. And then he had some other issues as well. And then once he is stopped and he needs his license and registration, he doesn't have a license and the vehicle is not insured. The odor of marijuana giving him probable cause to make an arrest, probable cause to search, is a separate issue, because is there a legal exception in the state of Texas for hemp when it comes to the odor? Maybe, maybe not, but one would assume that, I'm assuming, and I can do some more research on this, but I would assume that the fact that if they smell exactly the same, at least the officer would be justified in doing an investigation into whether or not that's marijuana, seizing it, having it tested. And if it's not marijuana, if it's hemp, if it's a legal thing, then they would just drop the charges against you for the possession of marijuana, because you don't actually have marijuana. But that doesn't mean that the stop was illegal. That doesn't mean that the arrest was illegal. That doesn't mean that the search was illegal.
That's right. We got to test it. Is it weed?
Oh yeah,
Is it him? But you also need a lawyer to represent you.
I found my own discovery. I was representing myself pro se.
I really don't know what this guy was doing during school, but he clearly sounded more like a kindergarten teacher presenting himself instead of just getting a lawyer, like any bad of an idea.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, he wasn't good.
Never met him. I don't know.
Good president that we've ever now.
Wonderful.
Who's one of the best presidents in history that you can think about right now?
Wonderful. To me, right now.
You can't think of one good president that we've ever had?
I don't know any.
Abraham Lincoln, he wasn't good.
See, this is the thing, is that I don't think that it is his opinion. No offense to the young man, Mr. Edmonton. No offense to you. Okay. I don't think that it is his opinion that there have been no good presidents whatsoever, right? I don't think that. But what I do think is that he couldn't think of any presidents off the top of his head. That's what I think.
Right now.
You can't think of one good president that we've ever had?
I don't know any.
Abraham Lincoln, he wasn't good.
Never met him. I don't know about him at that time.
I haven't met him. No one that's currently living has met him. Your grandparents haven't met him. Your great grandparents would not have been. The man has been dead for a very long time. I haven't met him. I'm telling you, he couldn't think of any presidents. I'm going to hell. I shouldn't have made fun of that, but I knew it from looking at his face. He couldn't think of any presidents.
Abraham Lincoln said something. He goes, you know what? He who represents himself has a fool for a client. When you represent yourself, there is an inherent.
And I say that is completely hypocritical for me to say that, because the two times, where I was sued, I represented myself and I won both times, but I should have gotten a lawyer. But my hubris would not allow me to, nor would my pocketbook.
Conflict, and you may not be able to see things objectively. So you may not be able to see from an outside position if they're saying something that makes sense. If you represent yourself, you can't come at a later day and say, you know what? I had ineffective assistance of counsel. My lawyer sucked.
That's
if you go to trial and you lose.
There's so many protections in I love this point that he just made. There's so many protections in having your attorney there representing you, because if your attorney messes up, you can have some terrible consequences, but you can file a complaint, You can file a post-conviction. You can allege ineffective assistance of counsel and have it overturned. You could sue for malpractice in some places, in many places. You have so many mechanisms that are available to you so that you can protect yourself. But those protections go away when you're the one representing yourself. You're assuming all of the risk and you know nothing. I don't care. Here's the thing. You could be I have a friend, a very, very good friend who is currently going through some legal issues right now. This friend is a doctor, right? They're an extremely intelligent, extremely educated person. They're a doctor. And I have been giving them some, some counsel, some direction, like here's the type of lawyer that you need to look out for. Be careful of these particular issues and so on and so forth. Just to be like, just to put them on the right track so they can find the right type of counsel. And they came to me and they said, Natalie, I don't know why I thought that being a doctor was so much harder than being a lawyer. Being a doctor is hard, but being a lawyer is hard in a different way. And I don't understand what you guys do for real at all until I'm getting close to the legal system in this legal issue. Of course, she's never interacted with the law in any way, but now she's having this civil legal issue. And she's like, this is so complex. Why did my lawyer do this? Why, her lawyer will do something. She's like, oh my God, why did they do this? Like, why does it take, why do you have to do all these motions and file all these things? And why does this take so long? Why can't I just get what it is that I need? And it's just like, because the law is a different beast. Okay. It takes a different set of skills. I can't do open heart surgery, and you should not be representing yourself. Please make sure that you have a lawyer.
And I end up putting your butt in jail for a year. You can't complain. Do you have any learning disabilities or communication handicaps? Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent?
This is so the creator here is that's not why. So the creator here put a little blurb, which is cute, and I can see why they say that. The judge asked if he is diagnosed with any disability, and honestly, that's fair because he still thinks representing himself is a good idea, but that will backfire. That's not why the judge is asking him that. The judge is asking him that to qualify him. This is a voir dire to qualify him to see if he is able to legally represent himself. Because even if a person asserts that they want to represent themselves, that doesn't mean that they're competent to represent themselves. And so sometimes in many jurisdictions, the judges will go through a series of questions to make sure that the person is competent to represent themselves. Think back to the Darrell Brooks case. Grounds. The lovely judge, highly intelligent. I just loved her. And the Waukesha County judge there, she went through a very lengthy voir dire with Mr. Brooks to determine whether or not he was, number one, competent to stand trial, and number two, competent to discharge his attorneys and represent himself. And she found that he was both competent to stand trial and competent to represent himself. Even though Mr. Brooks clearly had a very, very tough time in that trial and it made for a lot of memes, she was right that he was competent to represent himself. So that's what the judge is doing right here. He's doing a legal colloquy to determine whether or not this gentleman can represent himself, because sometimes people don't have the reason or the mental capacity or the mental health to be able to represent himself. And I'm more than certain this young man, although not versed in the law and maybe not the brightest, has the ability to represent himself, even though it's ill-advised.
Or treated for any mental health disorder.
Duro.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Once you represent yourself.
You're 34 in court acting like this, sir. I thought he was like 22, 23. You're 30. You're too old for this. You're getting too old for this, man.
I'm going to treat you as if you were a lawyer. I will hold you to the same standard. And I'm not here to put you through law school because I have way too much drama as it is. I don't need any more drama. Do you understand the charges against you?
I don't understand the nature of it.
Okay.
I don't understand is a sovereign citizen thing. It's a way that they try to hold up the court. They'll tell the judge they don't understand what's going on because they also have a belief that they're not under anything. Is another one that, especially the more Moorish nationals, they're not under the state. They're not under the jurisdiction. And so they don't understand because they don't stand under the jurisdiction of the court. I swear to God. They don't stand under the jurisdiction of the court. There's one judge that's so adept. He was like, okay, well, do you comprehend what I just told you? Which forced that sovereign citizen to say, yes, I do comprehend.
You're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail.
Yeah, what they're telling me, but I still don't understand like why I went to jail for that. So that's why.
What do you not understand?
the court procedures or?
No. I'm asking about the nature of the charges. Or you understand the range of punishment that you're facing a year, correct?
That's what I've been told.
Okay. If I offer you a lawyer now.
But they can't say understand because they don't stand under the jurisdiction of the court.
Would you want it?
I represent myself. I could get none more by myself than anyone representing me.
Right there, the idiot made a huge mistake. He actually thought he knew what was system or what learned out.
The number one reason why cases are overturned because of ineffective assistance of counsel, meaning that a lawyer, for one reason or another, messed up so bad that their cases have to be redone. You cannot complain about that at a later time.
I've seen that many times. That's why I'm representing myself.
But you can't, if you mess up.
He said, I see that many times, and that's why I'm representing myself. Let me acknowledge like a moment here. A part of what contributes to the sovereign citizen movement or people making very, very poor decisions for themselves in court is a distrust from the general public and attorneys that would be able to represent them. A lot of people just generally distrust attorneys. And as an attorney myself, as a public defender myself, I think it's understandable in some circumstances. Some attorneys have not done everything that they're supposed to do. What did Judge Fleischer even say? He said the number one reason cases get overturned is because of ineffective assistance of counsel, meaning the attorney did not do what they were supposed to do, right? And so that is there, but the solution is not this. This is not the solution. There are ways to address that. There are ways to file complaints and try and force yourself to get a different lawyer, that even maybe one even provided by the state, but representing yourself is just not the way to go. It's not the solution.
You cannot appeal this thing. You will not be granted any special consideration because of your lack of formal training. You understand this? You still don't want a lawyer. I will give you a free lawyer.
Oh, he's being this is exactly right. I mean, what this also does is protect the record when this gentleman is inevitably convicted and he files an appeal. A lot of the times on appeal, the irony is that people will flip and say, the judge allowed me to represent myself and he never should have done that. I didn't know what I was doing. The judge should have forced me to take a lawyer. So the judge will go through a colloquy with them to say, are you of a sound mind? And do you completely understand that you can get a lawyer for free right now? And it's still your decision that you don't want a lawyer and that you want to represent yourself. So yes, the judge is doing multiple functions here. And Kurt, I saw your super chat. Thank you so much. I want to click on this link so I can try and get it and have it for the stream.
Knowing all this, are you sure that you still want to represent yourself?
Yes.
I want you to understand now, as a condition of your bond, though, I'm ordering you not to drive until you have a Texas driver license and a liability insurance. I'm ordering you not to drive. And I'm going to have you sign with me today an affidavit promising me you're not going to drive. If I find that you drive, I'm going to put you in jail.
I have personal.
You are not allowed to get into the driver's seat of a car and drive, convey, travel, however you want to term it. The only conditions I'm putting on you now are 3. No weapons.
Okay.
No picking up new cases.
Okay.
And don't get into the driver's seat of a car. We need you to sign a form that you're going to do that.
Even if I don't consent to any of these charges, because I do have my paperwork, I do have.
If you don't consent.
Oh my gosh. The sovereign citizen bingo. Here it is. I do not consent. Okay. We have a very patient judge and not a very patient officer, but a very patient judge. And then we have traveling. He's brought up traveling. Hold on, let me make sure. Oh, I'm not live. That's why. I was like, why don't I see myself? Okay. So we got, I do not consent. We got traveling. We have, I don't need a driver's license. I think we didn't quite touch on free citizen, but it's there in the background. You hear it. He's talking to a judge who's being way too nice for him to be that rude. And he didn't go to traffic laws are not crime. So on sovereign citizen bingo, we've got a couple of them, but our card is not quite filled up yet. So let's see if we can fill up the card. Okay. Here we go.
If you don't consent, just go, right? Because if you,
the judge is just asking him to please just agree that you won't drive without a license, and he refuses. Judge Fleischer is being so nice. Please. Some judges would have held you in contempt by now. And I'm glad that Judge Fleischer is being nice. That's what I want to see. But he's trying my patience.
That's why I thought.
Let me ask you this. If you just took off now, what would happen? Let's get this thing done. That way you can move on with your life. We can move on with our life and just everybody be happy. I'm happy to take any motions that you have. Oh, wait a second. I see a motion for discovery. Is that it?
I'm going to
It's a motion for discovery?
Yes,
Is that the only one that you've done?
so far.
Okay.
It turned out the defendant had actually prepared a motion, and when the judge found it, he took a 5-minute break to talk to officers in the back and
See, and this is what I like is a judge who's not going to completely discount him. He is entitled to discovery. And so discovery is the evidence that the state intends to introduce at trial. And he has filed a notice that he wants it. So the judge is going to take that very seriously because he is entitled to it, represented or not. Normally, your lawyer is the one that would request it for you, but even people that are pro se, the judge will make sure that you get your discovery. So I like that. I like a thorough judge.
look it over. When he returned, the court clerk told him his opinion, and the judge couldn't believe how unrealistic it was.
I mean, the state wouldn't even be able to comply with this order because it's asking for an immediate order of discovery. Sounds like spontaneously going to give. The language is not aligned with crime.
No. Every motion in court, you have to give the other party time to respond. So you file your request for discovery, and usually there's some type of statutory requirement, like within 30 days, which in 60 days, which is 90 days of your request for discovery, it must be provided. Right. And so he's like, no, I want discovery right now. And if you don't give me the evidence you intend to use against me at trial right now, I want my case immediately dismissed. Probably. That's probably what he wants. But no, it's absolutely right. That is completely irrational.
Procedure or code. But beyond that, the only two cases that are requested that are reasonable that I can produce with a timeline are 1 and 7.
You will get discovery. It takes time to build a case.
Yeah.
To get videos, 911 calls, reports from officers. It takes time. It's not immediate.
Yeah.
In your motion, I guess it says he wants immediate.
Immediate order.
Just no way.
Yeah.
But Judge, this
immediate discovery does not exist. If only. Trust me, us defense attorneys wish immediate discovery is not a thing.
Discovery order is requesting things outside of the scope of discovery. Any and all names of any witness.
Oh yeah, rest in peace, Robert Redford. Thank you for bringing that up, New Day. I always thought that he was, number one, an amazing actor, of course, but just such a handsome man. I always thought that, I don't know if it ever happened. I don't think it did, but I really wish that Robert Redford had played Brad Pitt's dad in a movie. Did he ever? Because I always thought they looked so similar. They had a similar vibe, a similar type of handsomeness.
This is the Harris County Superior Court, State of Texas.
I mean, that's so broad, Mr. Emmett.
Or any political.
You want every single witness in Harris County? That's what that's asking for.
You have to properly represent myself with the case.
That's 4.2 million people. I mean, I'm not going to grant that. That's silly.
It's too. It doesn't go into this.
Imagine any and all names of any witness for the Harris County Superior Court, State of Texas, County of Harris, or any political subdivision thereof may.
What does that mean by any witness? Any witness in relation to what? You are entitled to the evidence from the officers who stopped you on scene, anyone that would have processed any evidence, things like that, body-worn camera, police reports. You're not entitled to every single person, every single place all over the county in the state of Texas. That's no. This is unique, though. This is different for a sovereign citizen because a lot of them won't file anything in court because they don't believe the court has any jurisdiction over them. So they don't file anything. So he did file a request for discovery, which I was giving him kudos for. But his request for discovery is completely kooky.
That's so broad.
Yeah.
That to even try to comply with that would take years.
We can go down the list if you wish, but
yeah, let's do it. I mean, we have
3, a true and complete.
Let's do it because I think he's being entertained. I like Judge Fleischer a lot. He could have been like, no, none of this, and come back with a lawyer. No, you couldn't have told him that.
The original certified alleged contract with wet ink signatures between the petitioner, the Harris County Superior Court, State of Texas, and or political subdivisions thereof may have law states that in order for the Harris County, it's not even citing law, valid lawful contract between the petitioner, let them bring it forward for petitioner's inspection or immediately dismiss all charges. I believe this is going into UCC. This is not.
Here you're going into the sovereign.
Well, this is the overall vibe of this. He's unique in that he actually did file a request for discovery. Other sovereign citizens would disavow him because you're filing things in the court means you're accepting the court's jurisdiction, right? But he's unique in that he's trying to get it's the same sovereign citizen mindset of trying to get a gotcha. They think that magic words and kind of like there's this like interesting little rumor that goes around in our county that everyone thinks that their indictment is invalid, and that if they can like find one little thing that the entire indictment gets thrown out forever. And it's just like, no, that's not how that works. Everyone wants there to be like magic words or like some type of trick that would make their case get dismissed. And because in popular media, they often hear people say, oh, well, he just won on a technicality. That defense attorney just won on a technicality. And I think in people's minds, they think that like technicality means, oh, someone didn't dot an I, someone didn't cross a T, someone didn't sign on a line, or someone didn't like get something by an exact deadline, and therefore my entire case goes away. No, normally, and this is why I hate that language, technicality. Normally what they mean by he won on a technicality is the Constitution. He won on the Constitution. There was a constitutional violation, and so a charge or the case was dismissed or evidence was thrown out. This is not the case here.
Sovereign citizen type language.
Just common law.
A
A
secret menu item, says Vanilla Bean. Perfect. Exactly. They think there's like some secret menu item there that if only the lawyers know, and if only I can get in on that, my case will be dismissed.
and complete original and or certified copy of the alleged is not even spelled correctly, contract with wet ink signature.
Sorry, one more second. What did you say, Judge?
Type language.
Just common law.
Okay. A true and complete original and or certified copy of the alleged is not even spelled correctly, contract with wet ink signatures between the petitioner and the Harris County Superior Court. What contract?
Contract, complaint, whatever. I know this is statutory and it's not going over common law, so I'm not familiar with the statutes like I explained before.
They think that the common law like supersedes statutory law, and it often does not. It often complements statutory law, and they don't really even understand what common law is. So,
lawyer now. You're going to have to familiar yourself with it.
Yep.
You're trying me on statutes. I want to be tried on common law.
You're going to have to do it. I'm not sure. There's no.
I want to be tried on common law. No, you're going to be tried on the law of the court, whatever law that the court recognizes on this particular issue. And if there's a statutory construct that relates to driving, then that is what's going to control, obviously. And there obviously is and always will be.
Have to familiar yourself with it.
You're trying me on statutes. I want to be tried on common law.
Nope.
You're going to have to do it. I'm not sure. There's no common law here. Everything's done by statute. How
That's
on
nice.
earth?
So Maryland does still have laws that are common law laws. We have common law murder. I think up until a certain time, reckless endangerment was common law. Second degree assault and first degree assault, the elements of which are common law. So you have to find them in cases. You don't actually get it in a statute. There's codified jury instructions on first and second degree assault, but they're still common law offenses. And yes, our most serious crime, there is like, statutory law as it relates to first, second, and third degree murder. But common law murder in the state of Maryland subsumes all degrees of murder. Isn't that interesting? And my favorite common law crime in the state of Maryland is, what is it called? Mutual affray, which is mutual affray. And the entire name of it is mutual affray to the terror of the king's subjects. And that common law, obviously common law goes back to English law. And that common law, and that's why, mutual affray to the terror of the king's subjects, you can find like the first reference to mutual affray in like legal jurisprudence in what is now the United States, dating back to the 1700s. Like, it's so much fun. And basically it is a defense to second degree assault when second degree assault is charged, right? That you can't say that basically this is the wrong charge. If it was a mutual combat in front of other people, it is a common law offense, and you have to charge that. If you charge second degree assault, that is the wrong charge. If second degree assault is someone initiated and touched another person against their will, or in Maryland, battery and assault are subsumed into one statute. You make a threat of imminent physical harm that the person does not consent to, right? Versus two guys go out in the street and go on guard and want to fight each other, or in the modern era, punch, right? Like they go out, they put up their dukes in front of other people, the terror of the king's subjects. That is mutual affray. And I love that law. That is so much fun. Like, what is Maryland? Maryland is such a great state before the law. It's so kooky and nuts. I love it.
Are you going to represent yourself if you don't even know that?
So I get everything I need in my discovery.
He's not going to give you body cams. He's going to give you 911 call, witness lists, and that's it. Is there anything else I would do?
But he is recognizing the request as a request for discovery, but he's just truncating it down to only what he's entitled to receive, not like the name of every single person in Harris County.
In here?
I would, so there may be dash cam I need to check. So I haven't gotten the body cam or dash cam yet. I need to check what all
Mr. Emmett, I mean, let's get real. A true and complete original and or certified copies of the criminal record of the attorneys of record, judge, magistrate, pro tem, commissioners, witnesses, as well as all officers.
I just nerded out over mutual affray, and Sarah J just told me I freaking love this, that jousting is Maryland state sport. As a girl from Queens, first of all, I have so much New York pride. I have so much pride being from the state and city of New York, being from the borough of Queens. I absolutely love being from New York. But as Maryland being my adopted state, I freaking love this state. The flag is chaotic. The laws are nuts. And our state sport is really jousting. And we have a crime called mutual affray. Mutual affray to the terror of the king's subjects. When we dismiss a case, we call it nolle prosequi. Not the case is no papered, as they say in DC. Not that the case is deferred. Not that the case is dismissed, but that we have a nolle prosequi. If we suspend a case, we put it on the stet docket. I mean, like, we're such a weird state. I freaking love it here.
Of this court. That doesn't apply here, really. I mean, my criminal history, I think I have criminal history. Here, let's go through number 13, just because there's a lot here that you got. The CUSIP number tied to this case, which will show that this court and or officers of the court are profiting off this case, and it is trading on the stock market on and for the official public record.
Yes.
Wow. A copy of all officers of the court registration.
One more time.
This case, which will show that this court and or officers of the court are profiting off this case, and it is trading on the stock market on and for the official public record. A copy of all officers of the court registration report and profile, which is registered under Dun and Bradstreet on and for the official public record. You're going to have to go through this motion more. It needs to be more specific. You need to have a more realistic guideline. I need you to swear to us that you're not going to drive. I am making it a condition of your bond.
I hold that until
You're making the condition of your bond, meaning swear that you're not going to drive, or else you're going to go back to jail because I can't ensure the safety of the community. Sir, take this seriously now. He's been very nice to you. Please don't go to jail. Please don't go to jail.
I don't drive.
I don't like when they go to jail when the judge keeps giving them like an out and they don't take it. I hate that because I'm like, come on, you could have. There was one, I think her name was Keisha, I think it was, and she was a sovereign citizen acting up in court. This young girl, super cute. And she just walked herself right into jail. And I was like, I just remember, I don't remember which video it was. It was from some years ago, but it's here on my channel. And I just remember at one point going, Keisha, no, I don't want you to go to jail. I want people who commit violent crimes to go to jail, not these guys.
No, I have my passport that I do.
No, I'm going to revoke your bond. If you don't sign it, I'm going to revoke your bond because I am ordering you.
Please, Eaton, sign it. No, Eaton, come on, sign it, man. Sign it. Don't go to jail. You're 30-something years old. You're too old for this. Come on.
It's a condition of your bond not to drive, convey, travel, any way you want to put it, behind the wheel of a car in Harris County, Texas. Do you think that the 5-year-old kid that gets hit and killed in a car, or the 69-year-old grandmother that ends up paralyzed from an accident, cares whether you were conveying, whether you were in commerce, non-commerce? If you have an accident, I want to make sure that the other party will be taken care of. If you get a Texas driver's license and you get insurance, I will take this deal off.
That's what I believe in, and that's believe the Constitution. I don't.
That's okay.
You don't believe in it? What, things exist whether you believe in them or not. Whether you choose to believe in something or not, the thing still exists.
They trying to apply that. I need to get a license to get insurance, and I used to be a commercial driver for this day. I don't commercial drive anymore. I don't do medical transportation. I'm just a.
You don't have to do medical transportation in order to need a license. Like, what? Come on, let's think about that. Like, what sense would that make that the only people that need to have licenses are those doing medical transportation? That is such a small portion of the community. The only people that need to have insurance are people doing medical transportation. Use your noggin, sir. You got a lot of it, so use it. Come on.
Hear what I said about an accident, about whether you're
I
conveying
understand
travel?
exactly what you mean about the accident.
Okay.
I know if I was to get on the accident road with no insurance, I could get sued and it'll be a civil matter and I go to jail. I understand that. That's why I drive.
What do you mean you'll go to jail? I thought you said it would be a civil matter unless you're getting held in contempt. You're not going to jail. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. Stop talking like you know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. Foolishness, foolishness, foolishness. I already know the deal. No, you're just speaking foolishness in a very confident way.
I travel very cautious. I don't.
You just said I drive. I drive. You said
That's why I travel very cautious. I don't.
He caught him just like in the beginning. With the preview. There it is. He slipped up. One more time. One more time.
Accident, about whether you're
I
conveying
understand
travel?
exactly what you mean about the accident.
Okay.
I know if I was to get on the accident road with no insurance, I could get sued and it'll be a civil matter and I go to jail. I understand that. That's why I travel very cautious. I don't.
You just said I drive. I drive. These are the magic words. Come on. Don't be Helen Keller.
Now the court has jurisdiction. You just admitted that you drive. Now the court has jurisdiction. You got to sign. You got to sign the paperwork saying you won't drive until you get a license. You got to do it. You have no choice, sir.
Come on. You're protecting you.
Yeah.
I'm protecting all the 4.2 million people here. Because if you get into an accident, I know that you're not going to be out a dime out of your pocket.
Yeah.
But all those other people, they're going to be out of it.
I think that's right. And I think that's what the judge is really getting at here is the policy reasons, which we don't really see judges do all the time. I mean, which they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to explain policy to a belligerent person that won't get a lawyer that is pretending that, up is down and left is right. But I appreciate what the judge is doing here because this is just good for general society to understand that it's a hassle dealing with the DMV. As a matter of fact, I got to go to the MVA and go take care of something with my license. I think I have a ticket or something I got to go take care of before I get suspended. I need to go take care of that tomorrow. It's a big hassle. It's super annoying, but it's how we as a community take care of each other and make sure that other people aren't harmed because you had a lapse in insurance, you had a lapse in your license, whatever the case may be, or there's a hit and run. Now you have no identifying information. Like, come on. You've got to do things the right way so that everyone in society can benefit. It's a social contract. And I think the judge is completely right here. And yes, there's a bunch of red tape involved, but I'm a pretty I think sometimes local government does way too much and makes things very difficult for ordinary everyday people. But this is one of those things where it's like, it's a pain in the ass, but I see it as a necessity.
Crap load of money, and I'm going to do everything in my power to protect every single person of Harris County. And I don't care if I offend you. I don't care if I make you mad. I don't care if your sensibilities are upset.
You can tell the judge knows exactly what he's doing. He has the perfect answer and example for everything the defendant throws at him and explains right to try.
Use your feet. You can travel. No.
Signs it raises serious questions.
Dodge patas.
I don't know what that means.
Happy trails. Use your feet. You can travel with your feet.
I can't. But I live in Austin. I don't live out here.
Take a bus.
Ready to go to jail or arrest.
Oh, you live in Austin? Austin's way more urban than other places in Texas and, in those type of states. So, yeah, take a bus. What are you talking about? You don't take a Uber. Take a Uber, sir. Bum a ride with a friend. DJ boy. Come here. You don't want to come? You don't want to come because you got in trouble earlier. You did. You were being a naughty boy before. I saw you. I'm sorry you were being a naughty boy, my little meatball. I love you so much. Everybody, I came home today, and you guys know the first week that we had DJ, he took off, right? He was a little confused and he took off and we found him and now everything is good. Well, I came home and here goes DJ running from my neighbor's house. We have no idea how he got over there. They were taking care of him, thank goodness. And he was good because everyone knows DJ in the neighborhood and everyone knows Jazz. And he was over at the neighbor's house and then he came home and was very, very happy to see me. And I was like, damn well, I don't know. I think he dug himself under the fence, and we have a neighbor whose dog does the same thing, digs. And I think that he was trying to find that dog, Petey. He lives down. No, not Petey. That's Samuel. Samuel lives down the end of the block, and Samuel will sometimes dig from underneath his fence, and sometimes he'll be in our house. Sometimes he'll be in our backyard playing with Jazz and DJ. And so I think DJ figured this time he was going to go look for Samuel himself. I think Samuel left a hole under our fence, and DJ got through it, and he was running the streets. And so, I told him off. I told him he was a very bad boy, and he had no business doing that. It made me cry. because the last thing I want to do is to lose this guy. I love him so much. And so he had a little bit of attitude. He does have one. He does. He has a GPS collar. He has it's not on right now. He has not a GPS collar. He has an air thing, AirPod, air something, but AirTag. But I don't like them. And I think I do need to get him like something else. But no, he wasn't like, but he's so they're right there. So it wouldn't even have shown that he'd really gone anywhere. Yeah, that's a boy. Because it was the AirTag was still showing him his home. Little guy. He's so silly. I love him so much. Look at this little guy. Look at him. What a prince. I love him so much. He's so ridiculous. AirTag, yes. Yes, he's a good boy. He is a good boy. And he's very friendly and he's very loving. And he really likes our neighbors. So I think he went to go hang out with them. Anyway, let's pick back up with Judge Fleischer.
Correct. Okay, so we're back on the record in 2522688. I had Mr. Imitum sign an affidavit promising us he's not going to drive, travel, convey.
Good. I'm glad he didn't go to jail.
In a car. And he signed it as, it says EC. Is that right?
ECE.
ECE / all rights reserved, UCC 1-103. Is that your signature? Okay, I'm still going to hold you to this. Yep. I find that you drive.
Yep, that's right. You sign whatever you want. And that's you acknowledge that that's your signature. That can be the signature you use. Your signature could be a heart, or an X. If that's your signature, that's your signature. My boy, mama's boy, little boy.
And I'm going to tell you now, you will end up going to jail. Understand? I'm going to hold you to it if I catch you driving.
All right, guys, this is where the record ended. But if you want to see how the case continued, just drop a comment.
That was so funny. I want to thank you so much to the person who uploaded this video, which is Blattington Court. Very well done. I enjoyed your commentary as well. I just skipped through it so as not to step on your toes. I don't want to steal your commentary. But if you want to hear his commentary, go over to Blattington and check him out. Thank you so much for that. All right. We have Uncivil, damn straight. A signature is any mark you make intended to be a signature. Absolutely. That was so much fun. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed myself watching that. Don't leave yet. Make sure that you like the video. And while I am pulling up the next video, take a look at this. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. Look at the absolute chaos. What is this? I love the state of Maryland. In case you did not know, this is the flag of the state of Maryland. She's glorious. Look at her. Absolute chaos. I love it here. I love it here. Okay. Oh, okay. Wait 1 second. I messed up. Hold on. I'm missing something. Here we go. There we go. I was like, why do I look so blank? There I am. Okay. So while I've got that coming up, Kurt gave us a video suggestion. So I actually copied the link and sent it to myself. So let me see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I need to.
I've got a secret. I would like to go over and personally escort our next guest on the show tonight.
There we go. Last witness, President Abraham Lincoln. Lord Jesus.
Now then, sir, will you tell our panel, please? Let's get in a little closer. Do you mind if I pull you in, sir? There we go. Will you tell our panel, please, what your name is and where you're from?
My name's Samuel J. Seymour. I'm from Maryland.
This is Mr. Seymour from Maryland.
Well, look at you tying everything in here together. We were talking Abraham Lincoln. We're talking Maryland. What's going on here, Kurt? Come on.
And we brought Mr. Seymour all the way up from Maryland, and by golly, he got in a hotel and fell down the steps and gave himself a shiner.
Yeah.
And
I was about to say, this guy doesn't look like he's doing too good.
we urged him not to come on the show tonight, as a matter of fact, and finally got in touch with his doctor, and the doctor said it was up to Mr. Seymour. Mr. Seymour said he wouldn't miss it. So here he is. I'm feeling apparently pretty well. Now then, Mr. Seymour, how old are you, by the way, sir?
96.
96 years old.
Wow.
Now, sir, if you'll whisper your secret to me, I'm sure the folks at home would like to know what it is.
Wow. Wait, how is that possible? Is that real?
Well, now to help classify his secret, I will tell you it concerns something that he witnessed. And Bill Cullen, we'll start with you. Something that he saw happen.
This thing that Mr. Seymour saw, does it have...
I love the old-timey television voice. This thing that Mr. Seymour saw. So now, tell us what you saw there, E.
historical significance?
Does this have historical significance, Mr. Seymour? I would say yes, wouldn't you, sir? Mm-hmm.
I can't hear him very good. You have to tell me what it is.
Yeah, there's quite a distance between our desks here. Let's all speak up, huh?
Does
Do you see that Winston Cigarettes is the sponsor for this? How times have changed. Now we don't see anything cigarette related on television, but they used to hold down television. I remember when I was like a child in elementary school, we had someone like, it wasn't one of our regular teachers, but he was giving us a talk in school. And he said, how many of you have seen a Joe Camel cigarette commercial? And we all raised our hands. And he was like, no, you haven't. Cigarette commercials have been outlawed since before you were born. You've never seen a cigarette commercial, but you think you've seen one because of how effective the advertising is for cigarettes. Like they're in magazines, they're on billboards. So you think that you've seen them on television, but you haven't. And I think that that is very, very interesting.
Does it have political significance?
It had political significance at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is wild, Kurt.
Well, if you're 96, that would make Mr. Seymour born in 1860.
Hey, Henry's such a mathematician.
Yeah, he's been writing over there all the time.
Oh.
This thing, did it have anything to do with the...
Jade Monkey said, but YouTube was a thing when you were a kid, right? No. Thank you for that. Having this past Tuesday was my 41st birthday. So thank you. That made me feel very good.
Civil War, Mr. Seymour?
No, it had not to do with the Civil... Well, let's say indirectly it was concerned with the Civil War.
Did it
all right, an answer?
Mm-hmm.
Did it concern a famous person in American history? Very well-known person.
Did it concern a famous person, Mr. Seymour?
Yeah.
Yep.
Would it help me to know who this person was?
What did you say?
He wants to know if it would help him to know who this person was.
Yeah.
And he has to know who that is, yes.
Was this man, did this man hold political office?
Ooh.
Did this man hold political office, sir?
Yeah.
Yes. $20 down and $60 to go, and we go to Jane Meadows.
Mr. Seymour,
Henry is being his usual helpful self by whispering to Jane, McKinley.
and I'm not listening. Mr. Seymour, would this person have ever been president of the United States?
Was he ever president, this man?
Oh, I think it was once.
Would it
was.
have been Abraham Lincoln?
It was Abraham Lincoln, yes.
You witnessed something to do with Abraham Lincoln. Was this a pleasant thing?
Good
Was it a
question.
pleasant thing you saw, sir?
Not very pleasant, I don't think. I'm
No.
scared to death, so.
He said, no, he was scared to death.
Would it have had anything to do with the President Lincoln's death, by any chance?
Unfortunately, yes.
Did Mr. Seymour witness the shooting of President Lincoln?
Wow. Is that Lucille Ball on the end there? This looks a lot like Lucy. Everyone is so glamorous. Oh, I love old-timey clothes. No, I don't.
We found out about Mr. Seymour through a recent article in the American Weekly, and it said, I saw Lincoln shot. And this article is by Samuel J. Seymour.
Wow.
And it goes on to say that Mr. Seymour was 5 years old at the time. He had been taken to Ford's
Wow.
Theater by some good friends. And the curious thing was that when he was this youth, 5 years of age, when he saw Booth jump from the box to the stage, at which time he broke his leg, his only concern was not for the president, because he didn't realize that the president had been shot, but the poor man who fell out of the balcony. And that's all of his memory is of going to the theater and seeing a man fall out of the balcony. Sir, it's been a great joy and you might say an honor to have you are, by the way, the only living witness of that tragic event. And
wow,
we are certainly going to forfeit the complete $80 to you just for your courage in coming here to see us tonight.
Wow, Kurt, thank you so much. Wow, wow, wow. That is amazing. I had no idea. For him to, the person that witnessed at 5 years old the assassination of Abraham Lincoln made it to television. And that's crazy because we have TV today. Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, officially ending slavery in the United States. It did not functionally end until Juneteenth, when the last slaves were freed in Texas, but it officially ended in most places here in the United States when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. That means that this man was born when slavery existed, and he made it to be on television, and that medium was recorded, and we can see him moving and talking and being alive, although very elderly. It's like jumping through time. It's so wild. Thank you so much, Kurt. Wow, I freaking love that. Thank you so much. They gave him a tin of pipe tobacco. I'm not making that up. Oh my gosh. That is so crazy. Okay, guys. I wanted to do 2 sovereign citizen reactions, but I'm not going to, because I think an hour and 26 minutes I'm trying to be considerate of the replay time. And I think that this will be something that won't be so intimidating for people to watch on replay. But if you did make it this far, please go ahead and comment a smoke emoji. Do they have those? A cloud emoji for the Marlboro advertisement in the television show. And that was just freaking amazing. I think that we should now move on to our super chat. There actually being a cigarette emoji. Shame on you. Shame on you, Apple. Hey, Dr. Barry, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Dr. Barry, I've been loving your TikTok. You make some great original content on there. I absolutely love, like, original for TikTok. I can't do it. I can't do law-related original content. I do like shorts of things that I've done here just because like I can't find the time to do it. But maybe one day. You inspire me. Great work. Okay. Daja W. Crisscross, and I'm sorry if I said that wrong. I'm sure that I did. Welcome to the Lawyer Chicklets. Suba has been a member for 29 months, and even more than that, Suba has been a member, has been on this channel. Thank you so much. Finally, I made it. Been a while since I'm live. Yay. Hello. Nice to see you. I did see a lot of people in the comments saying, wow, I haven't seen you live for a really long time. You know what that means? It means that the algo likes when we cover sovereign citizens. Even YouTube is tired of the serious stuff. Cameo Stark, nice to see you, my friend. And thank you so much for the super chat. Cameo says, I'm so glad you are streaming. Today ended my first month of teaching, and my 7th graders made me cry because they were so loud and misbehaved. So glad you were here for me today. I am so happy that you get a moment to relax and have a little fun and not be freaked out by screaming and crying 7th graders. If you ever need a break, I don't know what state you in, but maybe I'll fly over and come entertain your 7th graders so you can like take a nap or something like that. They'll be bad when you get back, but you'll get a little break. Trust me. Jackie, thank you so much for being a member for 23 months. Hello, Nat and Chicklets. Hello, Jackie. Thank you. Sabrina Valenzuela, thank you for the super chat. Sabrina says, prior to trial, is it hard to keep the strategy that you plan to present close to the chest? Do you have to disclose what you'll use for impeachment so that the state can prepare for it? Sabrina, awesome questions. Thank you so much. It is, I think, a play by ear situation of whether or not I disclose what my trial strategy will be or what my theory of the case will be, what defense I'm going to be presenting. Sometimes it is advantageous to disclose it to the state if you're doing plea negotiations, or if you're like trying to like freak them out right at the end or something like that. Like they're strategic, and some of them watch this, so I'm pretty friendly with some of my state's attorneys, and obviously my colleagues and stuff like this, because I don't bring the drama from the courtroom out of the courtroom. I think that we're all just professionals trying to do good work, and yeah, I do try to like freak them out a little bit sometimes right before, but like, I'm actually going to argue this. I bet you didn't see that coming. I am not good at playing things close to the chest. I have a big old mouth and I get really, really excited about my theory of the case. And I do homicide. So a lot of times the theory of my case is apparent before the trial because of the motions hearings. But I have had the satisfaction of surprising the state with my theory of the case. In one of the homicide trials I did maybe 5 years ago, I think they thought that we were going to say, self-defense or something like that, but we were like, no, he wasn't there. Like, it wasn't him. He wasn't there. And and like, I can't tell you why, like, that was such a crazy thing for us to say. I had a co-counsel, and it was such a crazy thing for us to say. I can't tell you why, but it was like insane that we said that, but we were so bold. Like, we got up with the opening. We're like, he was not there. It wasn't self-defense. He wasn't there. He didn't do it. He's not guilty. He couldn't have done it because he wasn't there. And the two prosecutors, like, they both went, what? Like their heads like snapped up. They're, making their notes, listening to our opening. And they were like, what? And then we talked about it after the trial, like after the trial was done. And one of them was like, I cannot believe that you said he wasn't there. I was like, what did you want me to do? So that one was a lot of fun. So yes, sometimes I keep it close to the chest, but a lot of the times I don't, because I don't find it to be necessary for me. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. You go ahead, prep for my defense. He's still not going to win. Do you have to disclose what you'll use for impeachment? No. You have to disclose like other things, but you do not have to disclose impeachment evidence. You do not. The defense does not have to disclose impeachment evidence to the state. Alan Michael, thank you so much for the super chat. Alan says, missed you, Nat. Have been enjoying the replay crew. Happy I made it live. I love a good throwback like this. It's been amazing. I've had so much fun, Alan. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the wonderful super chat. Uncivil Law says, if you've ever seen this, you should watch it on stream, and which we did, and it was amazing. Thank you so much. You might like this one too, and I will, because this is going to be in the super chats, I'll highlight it for later, and I'll plug it into another video. I look forward to that. Thank you so much, Kurt, for the super chat. I appreciate you. C-Gen, thank you for the super chat. Says, saw a video recently with a lawyer who got in trouble for using ChatGPT to prepare his document. I thought, how would Natalie react? First of all, email me that video, natalielawyerchick@gmail.com. So I am a bit nutty when it comes to AI. I think maybe that is my religion, is being anti-AI. I absolutely despise it. And there are situations in which I have to use it because technology is such that, like, there is AI for transcribing your body-worn camera immediately, transcribing 911 calls, but like the generative parts of that type of AI where it's like, oh, this body-worn camera contains this, and this, and we spotted an arrest here. I turn off those features because that's my job. I'll do that. No, thank you. I mean, it's easier for me if you transcribe it, but don't tell me how to do my job. And I don't like when I Google search something and that AI prompt at top, I completely pass that. And then I absolutely do my own research. When it comes to legal research, I do not use AI to conduct legal research whatsoever. Instead, I want to read the case. I want to read the cases that it relied upon, the cases that it's overturning. I want to do real, genuine research. I know every attorney is not like that. I know my husband, literally yesterday, me and my husband were talking about something to do that he was like using AI. And my husband is also a lawyer, in case you don't know, but he was using an app for lawyers that had an AI element in it. And he was adapting that app so that it could assist him with something in his job. And I was like, I really don't think that you should do that. Like, I don't think you should put information into it. Now, there's lawyers all across the country using the same exact software. And I was like, no, don't do that. And he was like, I am not listening to you. You're crazy. Like, times are changing, Natalie. This is what it is. This, the caseloads are big. And this is where it's going in order for us to be able to handle all these cases. So I say to that, when it comes to ChatGPT and using that for legal research, I am completely against it, absolutely against it, because it wants to please you, especially generative AI. Like, if you're talking to Siri and ask, oh girl, don't say nothing. Okay. And asking them what time of day it is, or to put something in your calendar or something like that. That's different than go out and do research. Go out and write this essay for me, write this memorandum of law for me, write this brief for me, do this, you do the first draft, and then I'll edit it. Absolutely not. I don't like that. And then also, as you guys know, I reside in Prince George's County, Maryland, and they have been attempting to open an AI data center here. And we are protesting against it because we don't want it in our neighborhood. Prince George's County has a concentration of middle class to wealthy people of color. It has, I think the school system needs some improvements, but there have been great improvements in Prince George's County as far as property ownership is concerned, education is concerned. There's a lot of higher education concentration here. There's a lot of people that live here that work in tech, in the law, in government, and we do not want AI data centers in our neighborhoods, eating up our electricity and polluting our water. So I'm so sorry you did not want that spiel, but I completely hate it. And I'll be happy I'm the only person that took Terminator 2, Rise of the Machines seriously, clearly, okay? Because when Sarah Connor was holding onto that fence and shaking it, that's me right now. I'm shaking the fence before the bomb goes off. Everybody, Skynet is real. Skynet is aware, it's alive, and it's awake. I don't want that shit, okay? I hate it. Okay, let me just move over. So see, Jen, you got way more than what you paid for there. Janice, Hester, Amy, welcome to the Lawyer Chicklets, my friend. And see, Jen says, I'll try and find it. His problem was he didn't proofread and his sites confused everyone. Recently, someone got in trouble in this area, not in my county, but in this area. Recently, someone got in trouble because they used AI to write a brief and it inserted a case that does not exist. So I hate it. Okay. I hate it. And lawyers, be very, very careful with it. I am also, like I said, out of necessity, using it to do things like transcribe. I'm using it to do things like that. I'm using it for scheduling and calendaring and taking notes. I have this thing called the Plod note thing that like helps me to take notes, but I will not use the generative features. I don't want any data mining of my client's information going into some algorithm. I think in like 5 to 10 years, there's going to be some type of data breach and people's confidential legal and medical information is going to be compromised because it's in some AI database. That's my theory. I could be wrong. I do tend to be an overly suspicious person and very much distrustful of technology. So even though here I am using technology, but I've always been like that. I'm a weirdo and I don't like AI. All right, guys. Elle said, I want to point this out. I want to point this out to you guys. I can see it over here, but I can't see it over there, so I can't show it to you. But Elle Wood said, and I love the way you spelled it, Elle Wood, as a person with disabilities, certain aspects of AI have been life-changing for me. And that's the reason why it's like, I know that I personally have a problem with it, but it can have altruistic uses. But at the end of the day, AI is created by humans, and humans have serious foibles where we can be both good. DJ, what you doing, buddy? You okay? We can be both. Okay, just making sure. Just making sure, my little sweetheart. We can be, hello, Jazz. Jazz is over there on the couch. There's a couch in my office and she's sitting on it. But where we can be both good and evil. And I think that because AI is our creation, that we are going to imbue it with the ability to do both good and evil. I don't think that AI isn't in and of itself evil. I don't think it feels anything. But because it's a human invention and it's very powerful, it has the power to do great harm and great good. And it's up to us as human beings to be discerning with how we use it. Even AI art, I think can be kind of like diabolical. All right. So anyway, sorry for my rant. I'll see you guys in the next video. And I hope that you all have a lovely evening. Say goodnight to DJ. He is going to get a good little massage and then he's going to go to bed because I did tell him about himself. The only discipline that I can do with dogs is to say, no, bad boy, and wag my finger in their face. And they get very, very sad when I do that. That's the only discipline I can do. I don't have it in me to discipline them any other way. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. And I'll talk, like I said, I make kids bad. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.